It's the flat season, and this is the place to be for your tips, previews, news, and reviews. Yes, this is the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel, and you're here for our weekend preview where we've got 4 races to preview from Newbury. Some top quality action with the Lockinge being the highlight on the card there. As always, subscribe if you haven't already. What are you doing if you haven't? If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Come and join the channel. It's free to do so and get involved. And look, get your comments in as well. Last week, Tom Leach put up Mahaba Yesanafi at 40-1 in the comments. If you want a shout out on the channel, get those comments in with your selections and we will give you a shout out the following week. And that's what we do, Jack. We want to engage with our audience, don't we?
Yeah, 100%. No, guys, do leave all your comments down below. Huge respect to Tom for picking out the 2,000 guineas winners. So come on.
Yeah, let's see what we can get this weekend. And we kick things off at Newbury with the 150. We're doing the first 4 races on the card, and it's the Carnarvon Stakes over 6 furlongs. It's the listed contest, and Noble Style tops the market at 10-11. Aesop's Fables 5-1. Shaquille is 11-2. Rabar is 12-1. Rumstar 14-1. Desert Cop 16-1. Rousing Encore 28-1. And Lady Hermana is the outside the lot, 50-1. Jack, I'm sure you've probably watched the 2,000 guineas over and over with regards to Noble Style, just seeing whether this horse is perfectly suited to 6 furlongs. But I think the overall opinion from everyone is this horse is a 6 furlong sprinter.
Yeah, no, 100%. I did think he actually ran quite a good race in 2,000 guineas, to be fair. I thought the conditions went against him over a mile. I thought he was probably going to finish in the last 3, but he finished a respectable 6th. So fair play to him. Look, he's definitely the most likely winner. Shapes as if he's a sprinter. I mean, his claims are so solid. I mean, yeah, the price suggests that, kind of 10-11. But I kind of want to take him on with something, and I was only in what to take him on with. Rabar, I was thinking about the very unexposed sprinter for Shadwell, likes to hang right. That's probably going to be a bit of an issue coming out of stall 2. Has been going around a bend at Wolverhampton, which hasn't been helping him, that's for sure. Has definitely been a lot better than what he's shown. I mean, the form of his races, of his 2 races, have just been so bad, though. The horse that he beat last time out in second was rated, I think, 62. So it's just so bad. So you're going to have to take a massive step forward. I'm probably, although Aidan O'Brien's record at Newbury is 2 from 24, believe it, I'll probably rather back Aesop's Fables each way at 5-1 than back Noble Style. I was thinking he hated the ground last time out at Nav, and the Antarctic did as well. They both didn't fire. They both got turned over that day. He's a half-brother to Washington, D.C., of course, did most of his decent work over either 5 furlongs or 7 furlongs, but all of that came on betting ground. He was second in the King George on good to firm ground. So I think this better ground will actually suit. He should be able to train on as a 3-year-old. Washington, D.C. should as well, and he's 5-1. So I'm going to put up Aesop's Fables each way.
Yeah, Dewhurst form isn't too bad either, is it, really, with regards to Aesop's Fables? And I was watching What a Shout yesterday, and Robbie Wilder's described Aesop's Fables as a gorgeous, disgusting each-way bet. And it probably is just that, around sort of 9-2. But yeah, Jackson side with Aesop's Fables, take a chance. I'm going to leave the race alone. I think Noble Style is the most likely winner, but I will not be having a bet in the race. But a race that I will be having a bet in is the 225, which is the Al Ryan Stakes over 1.5 miles. This here a Group 3 contest for the older horses. Newbury is the 15-8 favourite. Haskell is 4-1. Isra is 15-2. Kamari is 8-1. Garcia is 9-1. Bolshoi Ballet 11-1. And Old Harrovian is the 12-1 outsider. I have got a selection here, and it's a selection I actually put up on our Dante meeting preview, and I'm going to take the chance with Isra. I've got to do so. I thought he'd go for the Yorkshire Cup. He didn't end up going there. He's actually come to this meeting again. We've got to remember he actually won the London Gold Cup last year. So look, he clearly likes this meeting, but he put up some good displays at Royal Ascot in that King George V stake. I did mention it on our last preview that he ran an absolute belter behind some top quality horses there. And I think he's got so much more to come as a 4-year-old. I think he could improve massively. Look, Yabir is a very likeable horse, but there are some times where I watch Yabir and I have these question marks around him. I don't think 15-8 is the fairest price in the world. I'd probably be looking for a little bit bigger on that. We know Frankie Dettori, he's having an excellent last season in the saddle, isn't he? He's riding winners at every big meeting at the moment, and we were all kind of expecting him to have some good wins this season. That horse is 4-1, but yeah, Isra, I think Jim Crowley, I think he's riding out of his skin so far this season. Jim Crowley, I think he's in for another big season, but for John and Fady Gosden, I think Israel's going to take a step forward. I think 15-2, you may even get some bookmakers who may offer 3 places in this race. There's no guarantee. I mean, it's a 2-place race with 7 runners, but you could get a bookmaker offer 3 places, and if you get so, I think that wouldn't be the worst each way bet in the world at 15-2. Jack, what's your opinions on this race?
I don't really have too many opinions on this race. I think Yabir is one of those that I always seem to get at the wrong time. The Shima Classic, of course, at Newmarket when he was turned over at fours on last year as well. I mean, look, on ratings, he's clearly the one to beat. He's rated 119. I think he's £10 clear of anything else in the race, and he has to give Haskell £3. I probably actually edge towards Haskell. I don't really think she liked the mile and 6 at Doncaster on testing conditions. I think the drop back to a mile and a half should suit. I mean, a pedigree suggests that the Dan won over a mile and a quarter and was assisted to a winner over a mile and a half. So I think the mile and 6 was probably asking a little bit too much of her. But hey, you're asking a lot trading on from 3 to 4 to come and win this and turn over your bit on your first start. Isra, as you said, has definitely got claims over this trip as well. Kamari's one who you probably can't discount as well. I think he's kind of got bits and pieces of form is kind of what I'd say, but he wasn't respected out in Maidan when he was stepped up to a mile and 6, then dropped back to a mile and a half as well. So for me, I'll step back and watch it, and if I was going to edge for one, it would probably be Haskell on a price point of view.
Okay, Haskell for Jackie. If he had to make a selection, but he'll be leaving the race alone this Saturday. Let's move on then to the big handicap on the card, which is the 3 o'clock there. It's the mile and a quarter London Gold Cups Heritage Handicap Class 2 event, and Desert Hero tops the market on what could be a big day for Tom Marquand. He's 9-2. Exoplanet 5-1. Raw Rhyme is 6-1. Burton Ellie is 8-1. Interesting that Aidan O'Brien sending one to a handicap. We don't often see this, but Boldak and Libya Power there 10-1, 16-1. And bigger the rest. Before we kind of get into this, Jack, because you can get a rogue Derby horse come up in here. There is the occasion where a horse can win this and then go on to try and be competitive in a Derby. It's very rare. But what have we made of the Derby trials so far? We had a quick message yesterday via WhatsApp with each other, like who's going to win the Derby. What did we make of the Dante at York yesterday?
A very messy race was the first thing I initially thought. I think a lot of people obviously thought, I think Passenger should have finished a lot closer. I'm not necessarily saying he would have won, but he was travelling an absolute dream. Richard Kingscote just couldn't find the gaps, unfortunately, on board him. I think it looks a little bit of a mess of a market, but at the same time, you can spin that and say it's great. I mean, it's one of those for the public. I think anyone could be able to pick the winner this year. Military Orders, of course, at the head of the market at the moment. You've got Auguste Rodin, who has to bounce back in some style if he wants to go and win the Derby. I think it's a very clouded image. The trials haven't really put many puzzle pieces together. We still got a big mystery to solve as such to try and find a solid selection. I know I was looking down the market to see if there was anything at a huge price that I thought could run a good race, and I was still scratching my head there. So look, it's a very open market, but also a very good time to try and find a big price winner.
Absolutely. Right, I'll put you a little bit under pressure. If I gave you £1 right now and it had to go on the Derby, where's that £1 going at this moment in time?
I think actually it's probably going to go. It's probably left field, but it would probably go on Greenland. The Aidan O'Brien horse, who's probably actually going to go to the French Derby. He just stayed on over a mile and 2. I think it was at St. Cloud last time out to win a Group 3 and was third to Big Rock and Padishak on his penultimate run. I mean, he may go to the French Derby, but I think they should give him a crack over this mile and a half. You know, he's currently, I think, 650 on the exchange. So if you're giving me the pound on the exchange, I put it on Greenland on the nose to win. But I think Dubai Mile is one that hopefully could appreciate the step up as well. You got to be looking around those bigger prices. Silver Knot, of course, he was a bit of a non-trier as well in the Guineas. So I think stepping up to a mile and a half, he does. I mean, his breeding screams out for this middle distance trip. So Silver Knot's another one if the ground comes up good. But I think Greenland at 650, I think it's about 66-1 with the bookmaker. So I'll be taking a chance. Anti-post at Greenland, skips the French 2000, skips the French Derby and goes for the Derby.
God, how about that? A 600 plus to 1 tip for the good lad. We'll have to wait and see. I think I have to split my stakes now. I like Spreewell for the Jessica Harrington stable. I think that horse has looked ever so consistent as a 3-year-old and was very impressive at Leopardstown the last day. But I think Dubai Mile did run what I'd call one of the best Derby trials over a mile in the Guineas, basically. And I thought he was pretty impressive in that and the way that he finished. So I'm looking forward to Dubai Mile. So I'd split my stakes across those two. I think they're two double-figure prices that I'd be following in. But this race here then, Jack, is there the potential to have a rogue Derby outsider come and win this?
No. Don't think so. In this year, potentially. I'm actually saying that after saying the Derby's not a great picture. I think Exoplanet's got to be well handicapped off 97. Was beaten by Military Order last time out in Newbury. Military Order, of course, went on to win the Derby trial at Lingfield, and Chess Piece went and won pretty comfortably, I'd say, in the end. Yesterday, from that really strong place that not Brecht tried to put up at York off a mark of 96. Exoplanet's off a mark of 97. I think he's definitely got to be well handicapped. He's 5-1. He's a backable each way price. I think he's a little bit bulletproof in this. I mean, looking at that piece of form, it's so strong there. So Exoplanet will be my selection.
Oh, agreement. Ring that bell. I think Exoplanet could be a good bet of 5-1 as well. Has to be, like Jack said, that form got that boost at York this week. I think Chesapeake's actually won in good style in it and won quite comfortably. It was an excellent ride from Ryan Moore aboard the horse. But yeah, look, I think this horse, that second's got to be a massive play in this, because looking at the form of the rest of them, Desert Hero. The second run of Desert Hero, I thought Desert Hero could be a very good horse. I actually thought Desert Hero could be a Derby horse at one stage, but I was a bit disappointed as a 2-year-old on his second start. But Tom Marquand thinks this horse could take a big step forward this season, and you'd like to see it. I mean, it's William Haggis and a horse for His Majesty the King, and I'm sure they'd love to have a runner in the Derby. The other one that I think's interesting in here is a horse called Silver Sword for the Dylan Cunha yard, who looks like this horse has taken a massive step forward from 2 to 3, like a huge step forward. And the jockey that's on here, I'm thinking this could be his big moment on ITV to really announce himself, is a jockey called Greg Shane, who's a South African jockey who's come over obviously for a South African trainer, but he has been riding in the UK for a few weeks now. But I think he could have a major chance near the form. He absolutely bolted up on the all-weather at Southwell. I know someone saying that a horse bolting up on the all-weather at Southwell can't be the best of form to go on, but I just have a feeling he could take a huge step forward. 16-1. I think if he is showing the improvement that I think he could be, he could still be well handicapped, and he can run a mighty race each way. So Jack and I are both going to be with Exoplanet, but I'm also going to have an each way play on Silver Sword in the London Gold Cup. Now we move on to the feature, which is the 3:35 at Newbury. It's the Al Shakab Lockinge Stakes. It's the Group 1 on the card, over a mile, part of the British Champion Series. And Modern Games tops the market of 3-1. L'Oreal is 7-2. My Prospero is 5-1. Mutasabek 7-1. Jadumi 8-1. Light Infantry 10-1 and 20-1. And bigger the rest of the field in here. Jack, I know you're a big fan of Modern Games and what he's done. He's absolute star. Look at the 2s and 1s by his name, as consistent as they come, and he needs to land that Group 1 in the UK. Is this his chance?
I think it is, yeah. I think it has to be. I think looking at the race, there's two things for me. I'd say the best horse in the race, I think, is My Prospero, but the best miler in the race is Modern Games. It's something you have to weigh up whether you want to go for the best just kind of on sheer ability in My Prospero, dropping back to a mile. I think he's going to have a great chance in the Prince of Wales with a nice prep run here. But Modern Games is a miler through and through, isn't he? They tried to step him up to a mile and a quarter in the Jockey Club, didn't quite see it out. But look, he's as consistent as they come. He recorded a serious performance, I thought, in Keeneland when pretty much readily dismissing his rivals out there. Of course, last time out at Keeneland, of course, he somehow got turned over at 2s on. But look, he's always there or thereabouts. There could be something to come beat him, but I think I've actually got two selections for this race. Modern Games is the first one. I think he's just a classy miler on his day. And the second one's a little bit left field, and it's at 33-1, and Triple Time is 33-1 there, who was 7th in the pre-Daniel Wildenstein last time out on very, very soft conditions. That didn't suit whatsoever. It looks as if he's closely related to Ajman Princess, who did all of her winning on decent ground. Ostilio as well did all of his winning on decent ground. Kate Byron's on there, who was a little bit more ground versatile, I think it's fair to say. But on his penultimate run at Haydock, he got the better of Takarib Bay in decent style. Takarib Bay, look, he's no world beater, that's for sure. And then, of course, back in 2021, got the better of Hafid as well. But look, he's been scarred with injuries, that's for sure. So he's a very, very lightly raced 4-year-old. So I think he could take a step forward. I think he probably could be seen to a better effect over a mile and a quarter. But I'm going to take a chance on decent ground that he can bounce back after a big break. So it'll be Modern Games for me in Triple Time, each way at 33-1.
Okay, yeah, big price there, 33-1 Triple Time. Jack will be with the favourite in the Lockinge. Yeah, you mentioned My Prospero there, and this is probably an inadequate trip for him. However, he did win his maiden at Newbury last season over a mile and won in good style, and had won the Heron Stakes at Sandown as well over a mile. So, look, he can win over a mile. I agree he probably does want to step up to either a mile and a quarter or a mile and a half, and that will probably come after this run. I imagine this will be his only start over a mile this season, but I do think he's the class angle, and he'll be suited by a good pace in here, which, you know, any Group 1 over a mile over a straight track is going to be run at a fair clip, and it will suit my Prospero. The one who's interesting in here, Jack, and I'm not going to be putting this up, but I just want to discuss, is Mutasabek, because we were both at Goodwood the day that he ran at Newmarket. We watched it on the screen at Goodwood and saw him beat Native Trail in very, very good style. And we were a bit shocked by it. Obviously, Native Trail was the 8 to 11 favourite that day. But what did we make of Mutasabek? Were we shocked by that? And was that a massive step forward from him?
It was a huge step forward and a huge career best, but I find Mutasabek needs to kind of show me that he can be as consistent at that level as we want to see him be. At the moment, yes, he did show a very, very impressive performance last time out, but he's just so not consistent. Goodness me, easy for me to say. You can tell it's easy early in the morning. He's so not consistent that I think I'll just have to see him do it again, really. I know he got the better of Native Trail in good style. Native Trail was obviously a lot below par that day. So, no, I mean, he's definitely respected. He's a backable each way price if you want to kind of take that. So, no, fair enough.
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to be with my Prospero 5 to 1. That'll be my only selection in the race. And Jack will be with Modding Games and Triple Time each way at 33 to 1. So there's our 4 races that we've covered. Jack, are you sticking to the 4 races at Newbury, or have you got anything else for our viewers this weekend?
Nothing else for me this weekend.
Wow, just the 4 race preview this week. So we have to get it anyway. What would be, if you had to be pinned down, what would be the best bet this weekend for you?
Oof. I'll go for Exoplanets in the London Gold Cup.
I'm going to do the same. Exoplanet 5 to 1. That's going to be my best bet this week. And I don't know what our record is when we put up the same horse as our best bet each. I don't know what our record's like and how they do. But I'm going to be with Exoplanet 5 to 1 in the London Gold Cup. And don't forget, get your selections down in the comments for your chance to be given a shout out on next week's show, because we will be back. There will be no big festival next week. Jack and I get a little bit of a midweek break off, but we'll be back for the weekend. Probably a preview coming to you on Thursday, because we'll be previewing the action from Goodwood as well, where they've got the Oaks and Derby trial in the Height of Fashion and Cocked Hat Stakes, their trials at Goodwood. And we'll also have the Irish Guineas as well to go through, where Al Riffa is a strong favourite for the Irish 2000 Guineas. See whether we're going to be taking him on next weekend. But like I say, as always, subscribe, comment, share, give this video a like, and we will see you again next weekend. Thanks for watching.